television more often than most blacks. Therefore, white folks view him as more intelligent than most blacks. But what is real strange here for Reverend Jackson is that leadership is not about your own personal life. You see, any real leader knows that your life may have to be given up for the greater cause. There's no such thing as a nonviolent revolution. The fact of the matter is, and Dr. Clark said this today, which is truth, he said Mandela can't even give orders to his chauffeur. Which is real. Which is real. We would have to be stupid and close our eyes to the evidence. I was reading an international banking publication today. Now, this is a publication that is read by the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the J.P. Morgans, the Morgan Stanley investment firm, the Goldman Sachs investment firm, Drexel Burnham, all of the major banking houses in the world. And this article was written before Mandela was elected. And international bankers all over the world said that Mandela would be the best thing for maintaining white power in South Africa. Now, this is a major publication that is read by the fat cats and was not written with me in mind. I mean, nobody even thought that I would even know that publications like this existed. They wasn't written for me in mind, and they were talking among themselves. And even among themselves, there's no disagreement as to who still controls South Africa. The Economist magazine, one of the leading magazines in the world that you can get on selected newsstands, just 2 weeks ago said the same thing. We still own South Africa. White people, that's what it said. It said we should fear not. We still own South Africa. We still control it. So I don't know what Jesse is smoking lately for him to get before a television and try to berate Dr. Clark. You got to remember now, for some strange reason, much of this summit was on television. All right, much of this summit was on television, which meant that white people got the opportunity to watch the bickering between certain blacks and to observe Jesse berate and scold Dr. Clark. They got that opportunity on C-SPAN and black entertainment television. I saw some of it myself. So, questions have to be raised really as to why this would have to be on television. Why important meetings like this have to be televised at all. Because in a serious setting, black people should not be exposing their differences in the open. Malcolm said we should go to the closet. And so, I'm very concerned because I had an opportunity. I turned on radio this afternoon for a brief few minutes, and as it happened, Dr. Jackson was on. And I just want to point out two things because y'all getting ready to get tricked again. But don't say you didn't hear it here first. Jesse was on talking about voter registration. Now, every year when there's a major election, certain Negroes in this town get their gravy train money off of voter registration. Y'all hear me? Working for Cuomo and others. This is Cuomo money. And Negroes already are fighting over this money. I got to go and referee a fight this weekend amongst Negroes fighting over Cuomo's crumbs. And I'm trying to encourage these Negroes, the leaders outside. Let's strike that from the record. Right? I'm trying to encourage these Negroes that they should leave this alone. There may come a time when voter registration is necessary in our community. I'm not dismissing it. But the real need in our community is for political education. And these politicians never talk about political education. They're always talking about voter registration. That's like giving somebody a surgeon's license with no surgeon's education. You got a butcher on your hands. And that's what we've been doing in the ballot box. That's why voting hasn't worked for us. Because we have no real political education in our community. And that is what is necessary. And I'm waiting for the time when somebody began to address the need for political education. And then a couple other things that Reverend Jackson said I'm going to address real quickly. He said that there was $30-some million that was sent from America to South Africa on political education. Now, that money was CIA money and money from the Council of Foreign Relations. And it was sent under the acronym of SAFE, South Africa Free Elections. And it was not for political education, it was for political manipulation, which is a difference. But Reverend Jackson said today that it was for political education. It was for political manipulation, and the Council of Foreign Relations decided among itself, as well as a trilateral commission, that Nelson Mandela would lead South Africa. That decision was already made, and they already came up with the vote count. The article that I have gave the exact vote before the election, what percentage Mandela was going to win by. And it came out exactly like that. Now this was a publication that came out before, among all the bankers in the world, they said Mandela going to get 60-some%. The clerk's party going to get 16 or so percent. Already. They already knew. Before anything ever took place. So these are the things that we have to be very much concerned about. The one other thing that Reverend Jackson said today, because what really messes us up is that when you turn on the radio, unless you really understand the subject matter, most of the information that you're getting are errors and fallacies. See, nobody ever challenged it. We just put dummies, we bring on dumb guests, and they give dumb information and nobody ever challenged it. And most of us believe it. Now, the other thing he said, which is not true, he said, well, you got men at Rikers Island who are not convicted felons and who can vote. Well, that's not true. Everybody at Rikers Island who has not been charged with a crime, or who has been charged with a crime and not convicted of a crime, can vote. Everybody at Rikers Island who is a convicted felon, awaiting trial on a charge, but has already served time on the prior felony, is also eligible to vote. So it is not correct to give the impression that convicted felons cannot vote, because that's not true. The truth is that if you have served your time you are eligible to vote. Now, if you get arrested and go back at Rikers Island and wait a trial or another charge, you are still eligible to vote. And these things should be made clear. But this is the kind of information that goes out to our community. We hear it, and then we start using it in framing our own arguments, and that's why we have so many fist fights, because Negroes are operating with false information. And it's dangerous. And we need to be very much aware of this, and these stations need to be challenged where they know the subject matter when they invite these guests on. You got to do your homework. It's just simple as that. You got to do your homework. You get a job to do, you got to do your homework. When I was trying cases, people said, well, man, you won that case in the courtroom. I never won a case in the courtroom. You win cases in law offices. Preparation. I knew that.